السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم، وبعد. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Inshallah, we'll be continuing with our lessons that we were taking from the advice of Ali radiallahu anhu to his son in his final moments when he had walked in. And the first advice we took was about the best of riches was intellect. Second advice that was given to him by his father, Al-Hasan radiallahu anhu, that was given to him was that the worst of poverty is foolishness. So we continue with the third advice, in which Ali radiallahu anhu, he speaks to his son and he says, وَأَوْحَشُ الْوَحْشَةِ, that the worst of loneliness, the worst of being alone. Now in society, as human beings, we require interaction, we require companionship. And we would say that somebody who has no friends, somebody who has no company, somebody who lacks family members, doesn't have a spouse, no children, no parents, someone who would sit and isolate himself in a corner, someone who is very antisocial, we'd consider them to be lonely. Somebody who does not get along with the rest of the people. Somebody who does not want anything to do with anyone. We would consider them to be very, very lonely people. He doesn't come and join us. She doesn't come and join us. She doesn't want to speak to us. She keeps herself to herself. He keeps himself to himself. These are considered to be very lonely people according to us, according to society. But when we look at the advice of Ali radiallahu anhu, he's saying, وَأَوْحَشُ الْوَحْشَةِ, that the worst of loneliness is not that person, rather is al-ujb, is vanity, is someone who is in vain, someone who has only self-love, someone who thinks to himself that it is all about me. Vanity is all about me, vanity. I love myself, I am the best, no one can match up to me. And we consider that to be arrogance, pride, boastfulness. That it's all about me. They put themselves at a higher pedestal than everybody else. So Ali radiallahu anhu saying is that when somebody reaches that point where they think it's all about them, then that is the worst of loneliness, because they have no one to share that with, because they consider themselves to be the greatest, the best. And this illness of vanity, this illness of arrogance, it's from amongst the oldest and the most ancient of sins. When we look into the Quran, and right at the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah makes mention of the incident between Adam alayhi salam as well as Iblis. And what has Allah stated in the Quran? He says that when the angels were instructed that go forth and prostrate in front of Adam alayhi salam, then Iblis at that moment, who was amongst the ranks of the angels, he himself is not an angel, yet his worship at that time had elevated him so much that he had reached the ranks of the angels. And when he was told and instructed that you also prostrate yourself in front of Adam alayhi salam, Allah says, أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ, that he rejected the command of Allah, Iblis. Why? وَاسْتَكْبَرَ, and he was arrogant. Because of his arrogance, him thinking himself to be greater than Adam alayhi salam, خَلَقْتَهُ مِن نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ, خَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ. He addresses Allah and he says that you have created me from fire, and you have created Adam alayhi salam from teen, from dust and soil. Fire goes up and soil goes down. How can I bring myself to prostrate in front of Adam alayhi salam? It was his arrogance, his vanity, his self-love, which then caused him to become a rajim, the outcast, the rejected one, mal'oon, the cursed one. That because of this one sin, arrogance, he was banished and he was taken out and exiled from Jannah. and eternally doomed for the fire of hell. May Allah protect us, Ameen. So this one illness of vanity, self-love, it can be the cause of our destruction. In English they say that name and fame leads to flame. And when we go after the dunya and we think to ourselves that we are the best and we are untouchable, then unfortunately we follow into the footsteps of Iblis. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has stated, as mentioned in Ibn Hibban, that لا يدخل النار من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من إيمان. That the individual who has an atom weight worth of Iman, faith in their hearts, will not enter into the fire of hell. And may Allah make us from amongst them. Ameen. So somebody who possesses an atom's worth, a small amount of Iman, they will not be able to enter into the fire of hell. The fire of hell will not touch them. And then, following on from this statement, the Prophet ﷺ says, وَلَا يَدْخُلُ الْجَنَّةَ مَنْ كَانَ فِي قَلْبِهِ مِثْقَالُ ذَرَّةٍ مِّن كِبْرٍ. And that person will not be able to enter into Jannah who has an atom's weight worth of kibr, arrogance and pride within themselves, vanity and self-love. Now imagine that. Somebody who has a small amount of arrogance, thinking they are better than others, that person will also not be able to enter into Jannah. Now the Prophet ﷺ, he has said these two statements in one hadith. What's the lesson, one message we can take back from this? The lesson is that we cannot marry the two together. Someone who possesses Iman cannot possess arrogance. And someone who has arrogance cannot possess the true Iman. So we need to make it our task and our objective and target that if we have arrogance within ourselves, that we take them out of ourselves. We go out of our way to take it out, to clean our hearts of this one disease. Put ourselves down and put ourselves low so that we can take it out. So then, in the same hadith, then the companions, they asked, that, O Messenger of Allah, we are men that love that our clothes be nice, our footwear be nice. We want nice things. We want to be presentable. We want to have nice possessions. So in that, is there arrogance in that? If I wear nice clothing, if I have nice footwear, if my possessions look nice, if I have a nice car, nice house? To this, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he responded, "Inna Allah jamilun yuhibbul jamal, al-kibru batarul haqq wa ghamtun nas." That indeed Allah is beautiful and He loves beauty. Indeed Allah is beautiful and He loves beauty. And arrogance is that which deters and blocks the truth, the haqq. When it comes in front, we push it away because I am too good for it. Wa ghamtun nas, and it's to think lowly of the people around us. This is what arrogance is, that I am better than them. So when we see somebody who's not on the same level as me, I see somebody who is not living as cushy and with as much comfort as me, then I think low of them. This is what the Prophet ﷺ said. So it's nothing wrong with having nice things. Nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. But if we think that because I have these nice things, I am better than others, then in that situation, I am walking in the footsteps of Iblis. Not the other minor shaitans, Iblis, the top of them all. Because I think I am better. He thought he was better than Adam alayhi salam. And we are thinking we are better than people. And that's why we should also always recite the dua, Allahumma ja'alni fi ayni saghira wa a'yuni nasi kabira. Oh Allah, make me small in my own eyes, but make me great in the eyes of the people. Make me small in my own eyes and make me great in the eyes of the people. We just need to look into the Quran, few places here and there, and you'll find the incidents of Fir'aun. We know about Fir'aun. What was his claim? Ana rabbukum al-a'la. I am your Lord Most High. I am your Lord Most High. And then a simple thing happened, and the water came and he drowned and he couldn't save himself. We look at the likes of Qarun. Qarun was so filthy rich, he was rich, that it would take a group of people just to lift up the keys for his treasures. Imagine how wealthy he was. And he used to say, إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي, that all this has been given to me because of my own knowledge. He possessed some knowledge of the Torah, the book given to Musa alayhi salam. And he used to say and claim that it's because of my knowledge I've been given this. And he would not attribute it to Allah. And then what happened? What happened to him? He was sunk into the earth, and he continues to sink into the earth. Open up Surah Al-Qasas, you'll find the incident in there, towards the end. We look at the likes of Numrud, the likes of Qarun, Haman. Because of their arrogance and self-love, it became the means of their destruction. So we need to start bringing ourselves down, humbling ourselves, exercising humility, so that we do not follow in their footsteps, but rather we walk in the footsteps of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we take upon ourselves that one advice of Ali radiallahu anhu, وَأَوْحَشُ الْوَحْشَ, that the worst of loneliness is vanity, self-love and arrogance. May Allah protect us from this one sin. We make dua that Allah, He allows us to get rid of this one disease in our hearts if we have it, and we make dua that Allah, He allows us to enter into Jannah due to the little iman that we have. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallah bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.